Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Colleges That Change Lives virtual college fair. We want to thank you for joining us today. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our panelists at any time throughout the next 45 minutes. Your camera and microphone are turned off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This was just one of many different sessions happening this evening, as well as tomorrow. We're going to have other sessions, so please be sure to sign up for some for tomorrow if you're interested. It is also being recorded and will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/CTCL. Tonight, our four presenters are going to be Earlham College, Eckerd College, Goucher College, and Ursinus College. And before I pass it over to them, I am going to share a quick little 6-minute video with all of you introducing Colleges That Change Lives. So let me get that up and loaded, and then we will get started. Okay, enjoy.
Good evening. My name is Christine Bowman, and I serve as the chair of the Board of Directors of Colleges That Change Lives. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to our event tonight, and I hope you enjoy engaging over the next 2 days with our member institutions to learn more about who we are and the exciting opportunities available at our institution. As an organization, Colleges That Change Lives is a 501(c)(3) nonprofit that is dedicated to the advancement and support of a student-centered college admission process. We support the goal of each student finding a college that develops a lifelong love of learning and provides a foundation for a successful and fulfilling life beyond college. In addition, we push back on the media frenzy that surrounds college admission. We help families de-stress the process and really hope that you will enjoy getting to know institutions and a little bit more about yourself. We want you to look beyond the rankings to see that each college has unique attributes and values that can help you grow and learn in your college experience. We believe in the liberal arts, and we speak to the benefits of this type of learning in the college environment. And most importantly, as an organization, we support our member institutions in their activities to successfully welcome students to their college every semester. As an organization, we are 44 member colleges proud. 42 of us are private and 2 are public liberal arts and sciences institutions. We are located in 25 states and have an average enrollment of just over 1,500 students. Now, you may be asking, what is the liberal arts and why should I look at this type of learning in my college search process? Well, the liberal arts are neither about politics nor specifically about fine arts. The term arts is used in the sense of learning across multiple disciplines. And here we're talking about the natural sciences, the social sciences, the fine arts, and the humanities. And within liberal arts colleges, traditionally what you will find is the opportunity to deep dive into a core curriculum of interdisciplinary courses and learning. You will traditionally find small discussion-based courses and classrooms, professors who teach, or when they research, choose to engage their students in their research opportunities. Institutions that provide opportunities beyond just the in-class learning experience, things like study abroad, internships, community engaged learning, and research are all ways in which students can grow and learn. And finally, liberal arts colleges often provide the opportunity to pursue multiple majors, interdisciplinary majors, or paired majors for that student that has more than one passion that they just don't want to give up. And this is really important because we believe that the liberal arts is an education for a lifetime. Outside of the class or in conjunction with your classroom learning, we know that at a liberal arts institution, you're also going to develop these important skills: creative thinking, interdisciplinary thinking, communication skills, both written and verbalizing, working with small groups and large groups, solving complex problems, as well as developing leadership skills and the ability to be a supporter in a journey for all individuals. And while in the beginning this might not seem important, as you continue in your life, This shows an incredible amount of influence because these are the skills that employers are looking for and endorse when they are thinking about hiring individuals. So the Association of the American Colleges and Universities worked with a broad group of employers to try to ascertain what is really important in the individuals that you hire. And it was resounding that of the skills that rose to the top, many of these were not specific to a major or to a particular trade, but were really encouraging people to develop lifelong skills that could be required and used across multiple disciplines. Things like we just talked about, communication skills, problem solving, creativity. The reason why is employers can teach you how to have knowledge about the business, but they can't teach you these skills on the spot. And when they're looking to hire, these are very important competencies that they are looking for in the individuals that they interview and ultimately make offers to. So we believe that this is an enhancement to the liberal arts degree, is that it not only teaches you knowledge, but it helps you have these skills that can take you not only into your first job, but to jobs further on down the line. Sometimes a private school investment makes individuals a little nervous, and we understand that price tag may look large, but the return on investment can be incredible. And the Georgetown University Center on Education and the Workforce shows that the return on investment for liberal arts education is nearly $200,000 higher than the median for all colleges. And that 40-year return on investment over a lifetime of employment, the return on liberal arts institution is close to those of engineering schools as well as business schools. So you don't have to attend one of those specific institutions to see a lifelong opportunity for engaged learning, engaged contributions to the community, and return on investment. So I hope this information is helpful for you as you begin your journey over the next couple of evenings. If you would like to learn more about colleges that change lives and our member institutions, we hope you'll visit our webpage. And know that we have recently updated to add a college search feature amongst our institutions. So if you're looking for a specific major, opportunity to participate in athletics or a particular region of the country, we have a way in which you can get to know us better. Thank you for joining us and have a great evening. Good evening. My name is...
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. And now I'm going to pass it over to our first college of the evening, Earlham College.
Let me unmute myself first. There you go. Hi, everyone. My name is Yulia Cormier, and I am with the admissions office here at Earlham College. I'm so excited to tell you a little bit more about Earlham and what we offer on campus for our students and why we are part of the CTCL. A little bit more about Earlham College. We were founded in 1847, so we've been around for quite some time. We were founded by the Religious Society of Friends, also known as Quakers. Students do not have to be Quaker in order to attend. We do welcome students from a wide variety of different backgrounds, religious backgrounds, non-religious backgrounds, non-faith backgrounds, whatever it is. We believe that in order to make a positive change in this world, we need to bring in a wide variety of different individuals into one area, into one room. We're located in Richmond, Indiana. As you can see on the map, we're about an hour east of Indianapolis. We're also really close to Dayton as well as Cincinnati. So Richmond itself has about 36,000 people living in the area, but we are surrounded by larger cities. The power of purpose is our Quaker values as well as our principles and practices. We follow 5 principles and practices, which are simplicity, peace and justice, community, integrity, as well as respect for persons. So those principles and practices are actually written on the walls of every single one of our buildings. So we honor those principles and practices in and out of the classrooms, on and off the fields, anywhere that we go. We also have intentional global influences and connections. So whatever you may be studying in the classroom, you're going to be learning from the student next to you that may be an international student. You may be going abroad somewhere with your professor and doing a research opportunity. We also, any type of our works that we do, we bring in, for example, for music, we have international music instruments on our campus as well. So you'll have a very global influence when it comes to your education. We also have a very distinct community. We also offer rigorous academics that both challenge and support in equal measure. And we're also part of the Colleges That Change Lives. As you can see, these are the list of our majors and minors that we offer on our campus. Students have the option to major, double major, sometimes even triple major. We also offer applied minors. We have about 20 different applied minors where it's similar to a minor, but it's a little bit more concentrated. And they're also very unique, such as peace and global studies, but also Peace Corps studies. We also offer law and social justice for anyone that's interested in going into the social justice aspect as well as sports management. Students do not have to major until the end of their sophomore year. So you can come in not knowing what you want to do, and you'll have an advisor that's going to work with you throughout the 4 years that you're at Earlham. Even if you know exactly what you want to do, you'll still have an advisor that sits down with you and creates a 4-year plan for you to make sure that you're taking a wide variety of classes and still having those different diverse influences as well. For the classroom experience, our average class size is about 13 students. The largest class size is maybe 60 students in a class, and that's going to be in your first year seminar class. Once you declare your major, your class sizes will be just a little bit smaller. Sometimes it's 5 students, including you in the class, and the professor. So that's really nice because you will be able to work with the professor. The professor goes by your pace. You don't go by the professor's pace. The professor will sit down with you. They're more discussion-based classes, and you'll be able to read works and talk about different works that you've read within the last couple of nights. You can talk about what's been going on in the world. We actually have about 22% of our students are international students. So not only will you be learning from your professor, but you're going to be learning from the students next to you as well. So a student from halfway around the world could be talking to you about the experiences that they have had, the upbringing that they have had. So, or maybe their interpretation of what they see on the TV news, anything like that. So you're learning from different perspectives and different sides. So also tying in that global perspective into Earlham. Student to faculty ratio is 9:1, so that's 9 students per 1 faculty member. And then professors are called by their first name. So instead of calling your professor Dr., Professor, Mr., Mrs., whatever it is, you get to call them by their first name. So that establishes a connection, that establishes a relationship with that student and the professor. And a lot of our students do work one-on-one on different research opportunities with our professors too. We've also been ranked as the best classroom experience by the Princeton Review. Something that's very unique about Earlham is our Earlham Advantage. We actually provide at least one funded internship or research opportunity to every single one of our students on campus. You can get started as early as the summer before your sophomore year, and you can have an internship or a research. A lot of times when students are able to get an internship, they're unpaid. So these funded internships can help students find housing as well as meals when, let's say, it takes them maybe halfway around the world or in a different location of the US or anything like that. So they can focus on their internship instead of trying to figure out how they're going to pay for their housing and their meals or anything like that. Same thing for research. Research requires for you to buy equipment. Maybe you're working with different organizations or anything like that. So you'll be able to use that funded. You'll receive up to $5,000 to whatever it is that you need to help you with your research. For student life, we have over 60 different student-led organizations. We also have athletic programs. We have 17 different men's and women's athletic programs, and we're also on the Division III level. So if you're a student athlete and you are interested in continuing playing on the sports team, you can do so at Earlham. For our clubs and organizations, we have over 60 student-led organizations, as I mentioned. If there's something that we don't offer and you want to start it, it's really easy to do that on our campus. You'll just need a faculty advisor as well as other students that have that same interest. We have everything from service to cultural to political. We have community service organizations. We have special interest clubs as well. We also have rec sports on campus. So there's a wide variety of different ways that you can get involved on campus. We also have a student-run equestrian center on campus. So if you're interested in learning how to ride a horse, we have 8 horses on our campus, and it's the only student-run equestrian center in the US. We are a residential campus. We have 8 residence halls. There's plenty of housing for every single one of our students. Within our residence halls, we have the traditional single as well as doubles and then suite style living. Most of our students live all 4 years on campus. We also offer themed and friendship houses. That's a little bit different. So it's still part of the campus, but we have about 6 to 10 students that live in a house that share the same interest or same areas or anything like that. And then we also offer apartment style living for juniors or seniors as well. So as you are getting into your final year at Earlham, you'll have the opportunity to experience living on your own. For the admissions process and financial aid, as you're getting ready to start looking at schools and figuring out what it is that you need to do for your application, start thinking about how you're going to build up that application. So for us, we really look into extracurricular activities, what your life is outside of the classroom. We really want to get to know you as a student. If you haven't been involved in extracurricular activities, but you've had a job on campus, maybe you take care of family, you've done a lot of community service, include that as well. We also take a look at your personal essay. So we don't skim over it. We definitely take a look at it and read through it. So make sure that when you write your personal essay, you write about yourself. Tell us a little bit more about yourself. And then we also need your high school transcript, and we are test optional, so we'll need your either SAT or ACT if you do decide to submit those test scores. And then we'll need a recommendation letter from a teacher as well as a high school counselor. And lastly, we do offer merit scholarships as well as need-based aid. Scholarships are considered for merit, so that's based on your GPA. So make sure that you're keeping up with all of your grades and getting all your work done. Thank you.
Thank you. And next up, our second school we're going to go to is Eckerd College.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Alex Zielinski. I am one of the admissions counselors here at Eckerd College. We are situated in St. Petersburg, Florida. So that's on the Gulf Coast for those that aren't aware. Like many others that you're going to hear from today, we are small liberal arts and science college. We're about 1,850 students total. Our average class size is about 19 students, and our student to faculty ratio is 13:1. So that's just to get the numbers out of the way. But today I kind of want to talk about what makes Eckerd unique compared to other schools you might be looking at. So I want to touch on our calendar system, as well as our mentoring program and our study abroad options. So to start, let's talk about our autumn term experience. And to understand what autumn term is, we need to understand where our students are coming from. So our students, on average, travel nearly 1,000 miles to get to us. So we have students from 47 states and 41 different countries. This here is just the geographic breakdown. So only a small percentage of our students actually come from the state of Florida. And because so many students are coming from great distances, we want to make sure they're acclimating very well to Eckerd and college life before the upperclassmen get back. So that's why we've developed a 4-1-4 calendar. Many schools also have this calendar. So the 4 just means you're taking typically 4 to 5 classes each semester and then 1 class during a short period of time. A lot of schools have what we call winter term or January term. We do as well. That's not necessarily too unique. What makes us unique, though, is that we have our first year students come the month of August, and we call this autumn term. During this time period, you are taking a full semester worth of class in those 3 weeks. You're also doing those orientation events as well, so you understand where your classrooms are and the various offices and resources are available before those upperclassmen get back. During this time period as well, you will have a mentor. They're going to be the one that teaches this autumn term class. This autumn term class won't be related to your major, but it's just kind of introducing yourself to what college will be like at Eckerd. So here are a handful of the offerings that we offer during that time period. One I always like to mention is Narratives of Sail. So that's actually a literature course focused on nautical novels, but then you're also learning how to sail at the same time too. So they have that fun component as well. Like I mentioned, your mentor will be that professor that teaches that autumn term class. So you have a mentor from day one. We call them mentors instead of academic advisors because they do much more to tell you what classes to take. They really want to get to know you on an individual basis, what your passions are at Eckerd and beyond Eckerd as well. So this first mentor will teach autumn term, and then you'll stick with them for the entire year for what we call the human experience. And this is essentially that all our students take, just kind of introducing yourself to Eckerd. When you declare your major, which could happen as early as the spring semester, you'll get a mentor in your field of study, and then they'll guide you the rest of your way, finding internships, research opportunities, applying to grad school, all that stuff. This here is a full breakdown of all our areas of study. We're most well known for marine science, but other strong programs at Eckerd include environmental studies, animal studies, international relations, and bio pre-med. Our newest program is actually a marketing major, but we also have a new 2-2 theater BFA program where you spend 2 years at Eckerd and then 2 years at Circle and Square Theater School in New York City. Here is a breakdown of what our students are studying now. So about 38% study the social sciences, about a third study the natural sciences, and then everyone else is kind of lumped into the rest of those numbers. Your mentor, beyond helping pick classes for you and finding internships and research opportunities, one of their roles is also to help you figure out when the best time to study abroad is. So study abroad is quite a big deal at Eckerd. We have about 75% of our students going abroad at least once. A lot will go multiple times as well. I think the great thing about Eckerd is we do offer a variety of different time frames to go abroad. So yes, we have that full semester experience. We have our own study center in London, but we also partner with over 300 universities and programs around the world. So if you want to go somewhere, we can help you get there. We also have students study abroad during winter term. This is a great time to go abroad with other Eckerd students and a professor. We have tons of language immersion trips during this time period as well. We also send students to the Galapagos, Honduras, Cuba, pretty much all around the world. Another way to study abroad at Eckerd is through our service learning office. So community service is quite a big deal at Eckerd. We get about 80,000 hours of service a school year, which is huge for being such a small institution. Obviously, we're not studying abroad right now due to COVID, but when we kind of get the go ahead, I'm sure we'll get right back out there. So I've kind of talked about outside of Eckerd, but I want to bring it back to campus life. So as I kind of alluded to earlier, we have students from all around the country. This means we're an extremely residential campus. In fact, about 90% of our students live on campus, and that's for all 4 years as well. Because we're so residential, we have over 100 clubs or organizations for students to kind of get involved in. Anything from sports, service, spiritual life, lactism, outdoor, sustainability, you name it, we likely have it. And if we don't have it, you can easily start it too. This picture kind of highlights two unique aspects to Eckerd. One is the fact that our location is right on the water. That there is Boca Ciega Bay, which is an inlet of the Tampa Bay and Gulf of Mexico. The other unique thing you might have noticed already is that there's a dog in that photo. Eckerd was one of the first colleges to allow pets on campus. So if you want to bring Spot from home, you're more than welcome to. We actually do have our own pet graduation as well. So that's pretty cute. I mentioned the waterfront, but I do want to talk about the waterfront facility itself. So the waterfront is comprised of 3 parts. We have academics, recreation, and service. So academically, if you're involved with environmental studies or marine science, you're utilizing our research vessels for the lab experiences. So you're literally and figuratively thrown in the deep end. Recreation means exactly what it sounds like. So you can take out paddleboards, canoes, kayaks, windsurfers, you name anything outdoor related, the waterfront probably has it. The final part of the waterfront, which is very unique to Eckerd, and this is the service component, and it's called EXAR, or Eckerd College Search and Rescue. It's the only collegiate search and rescue program in the country, and they work directly with the Coast Guard to respond to events on the water within the whole Tampa Bay region. So anything from a boat needing gas or needing a tow to a fire or a missing person, they're on the case. Don't have to have any experience to join them, but it's great for students who are potentially interested in the Coast Guard or medical field, but you do not have to be committed to those programs to be a part of it. This here is an overview of our campus. Like I said before, we are extremely residential. So everything in a circle here are some of our dorm rooms. So you could have some rooms right on the water, which is pretty nice. But I do want to briefly touch upon the application process. There's a couple more minutes left. So here is pretty much the breakdown. We have 2 different applications, Common App, our own. No difference to us which one you submit, but there are 2 different timeframes to apply. So we have early action. Our deadline is November 15th, which means you'll hear back by December 15th at the latest. Otherwise, we're rolling admission, which means 3 to 4 weeks, and then you'll get a decision from us. The rest of the application process is fairly straightforward. We obviously need your high school transcript. Similarly, we are also test optional for the coming year, so you do not submit test scores to us, and you will still be considered for all levels of merit scholarship without that. We do need at least 1 letter recommendation from an academic source, but you're more than welcome to submit more beyond that. And then lastly, we do have just the essay, which is included in the Common App. We don't have any other supplements, so you don't have to worry about that. When you do apply to Eckerd, you are considered for our merit scholarships, but we encourage you to apply to many of our other scholarships as well. One is a research-based one, so you can do research as a first-year student and have work published potentially by the time you graduate. Another one is also an art-based one, so we encourage you to check that out for more information. More information is on the website about the application process, and if you are interested in connecting with your admissions counselor, just check us out online. You can figure out which counselor is yours for your territory. But other than that, I wanted to thank you guys tonight, and feel free to ask questions in the chat if you do have any. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we are going to go to Goucher College.
Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. Let me just share my screen real quick. There we go. Okay, so thanks for joining, everybody. Just a quick introduction to Goucher and where we are located. We are just outside of Baltimore, Maryland. So I'm not sure if anyone has been nearby the Baltimore, DC area, but this is downtown Baltimore on the other end of town from us. The Inner Harbor, you can see the aquarium right there at night. This is also towards the downtown end of Baltimore. This is Fells Point, a really nice historic part of the city. But then we are located actually just about a mile north of the city. So Baltimore is actually in Towson, Maryland, just 1 mile from the city. And that's usually hard to explain to people, but we're actually in more of a what feels like a rural area. We have almost 300 acres on campus, much of which is wooded. We have about a mile of hiking trails right on our own campus there. If you were on campus, you could see students usually hanging around in hammocks, studying, something like that. But yet we're very close to Baltimore, just 1 mile away, and then about 45 minutes or an hour or so to Washington, DC. So I really like to go over our location for those aspects. We are a very residential college usually. We usually have about 90% of our students live on campus. That would generally be the default for our students. Housing is guaranteed for all 4 years. And it's really just a big part of the student experience. It really makes that a lot of fun, obviously. But then this is a pretty informative slide of just our breakdown. Of course, we're private, like I said, residential liberal arts college. We have about a little over 1,300 undergraduate students. And the campus community is really designated to the undergraduate experience. You never have any grad students or TAs teaching classes like that or anything. The average class size, you can see about 15 to 20 students, and it's about 10 to 1 students to faculty. So like what's been mentioned so far tonight, you're seeing a lot of those qualities play out, but I'll have a few more examples for you coming up. And then just a quick breakdown of some of the metrics of last year's incoming class. You can see we have very strong representation. We have most of our students come from out of state, outside of Maryland. And this is also indicative of the last 4 or 5 classes, I like to say as well. So It's a very diverse group. I can also say, just from getting to know the students quite well over the last 5 years, inclusion is extremely important to them. So we would definitely love to foster any conversations between you and Goucher students. This is a full list of our majors, and we've actually added a few new majors and updates to these programs as well. Again, this is something that's been mentioned tonight, but we are very flexible with your academic selections. I don't know too many students at Goucher who are only studying one thing. Many students have a dual major and a minor. I have in some instances heard of students having a dual major and dual minor, making that work. If you can see right down, halfway down the center column here, the individualized interdisciplinary major is basically crafting your own academic focus with the help of faculty. So there's an incredible amount of flexibility that faculty are very hands-on in helping you with. The most popular majors year to year tend to be psychology, business, biology, political science, communications and media studies. So interests are pretty varied. This is also our list of standalone minors and concentrations. You can see there pre-med, pre-health is also a very rigorous track towards medical school. If we have any students interested in that, I like to point that out. But again, many students coming to Goucher are undecided on what they want to do. Maybe they have a few different ideas and they're not sure how that would combine. Maybe they changed their idea entirely on their major. We really support that. Faculty, again, are very hands-on with helping you with that. And again, it's been mentioned tonight as well, but the class experience is very interactive. We try to stay away from lectures as much as we can. This is actually an example of an outdoor classroom we have. Not every class you'll have is outside, so it's only the one. But, we tend to have small group work, team-based work during our seminars. So if that sounds like that's something you would enjoy with a learning setting, I can tell you our students really enjoy that. Research is also very easy to do with professors, usually as early as sophomore year. If you have something you're really interested in that your class doesn't quite cover, that you would like to put into a research opportunity, or alternatively, if a professor is doing something you're interested in, we could certainly make that happen. I also like to emphasize that research isn't always, as this picture kind of implies, in a lab with safety goggles and looking at maybe a test tube or something like that. It could be qualitative, it could be ethnographic. Our professors really like to introduce students to the Baltimore, DC setting for doing their own research. So again, our location is really great for that. Study abroad is a really big point that I'm looking at my timer here. I guess I don't have as much time as I hoped. We at Goucher actually require all of our students to study abroad. So I'll just say that again, 100% of Goucher students study abroad. It is actually a formal graduation requirement. So that's a pretty unique element to Goucher that we really enjoy. You certainly don't have to know where you're going, but just know that we would have you go somewhere during your time at Goucher. So again, if you're a dual major, if you're an athlete, if you would normally have a more difficult time studying abroad in college, Goucher has just guaranteed you that opportunity regardless of whatever you're doing. This is not an exhaustive list. You can go to other places that are not on this list. We can certainly make that happen. We have a whole office to help with that. Just a couple popular ones are environmental studies programs. Hop around a few places in Central and South America to look at agritourism and sensitive ecologies. Europe is a whole range of things from a couple favorites of mine is there's a really cool fine arts program in Florence where your studios are actually in piazzas, which is pretty gorgeous. You can be an assistant to a member of parliament over in the UK for a semester, which is really cool. Africa, there's a really popular education program in South Africa. There's a really great dance program in Ghana. So whatever your interests are, it doesn't have to be your major tied to where you go. We just want to make sure you experience another culture, but you could really focus in on your interests to the part of the world where you're studying. So again, Goucher's really been recognized for its study abroad program. That's a pretty unique element. Getting back more to our campus, I'm kind of skipping along here. Again, it's very residential and it's very active. So new clubs pop up quite often. It can range from anything like a biology club or a psych club all the way to a bad movies club, or we have a beekeeping club on campus. Other things like intramural soccer, basketball, ultimate frisbee tend to be very popular. So again, it's very active, and I often have to really applaud our students for going out of their way to make the next incoming class feel very welcome. It's a nice part of the community. We've tried to make your living space more interactive. So this is actually inside of a dorm. This is the first floor of the first year village where you would come as a freshman and do regular studios there. For any athletes, we're Division III. We're part of the Landmark Conference. So a small conference of similarly sized colleges. We'd be happy to connect you with a coach if you're seeing something here you'd be interested in. And then we also have, I think this was mentioned before, we also have horses on campus. We have a very high achieving equestrian program. So if we have any serious riders here tonight, I'd love to connect you with our equestrian program. They're a very serious group. And then finally, getting into some postgraduate elements, you can see 96% of our grads are either employed or pursuing graduate programs 1 year after leaving Goucher. About a third are usually doing both of those things from our surveys. The return on investment, I don't have time to go into such a technical slide. I'm almost out of time here, but just showing you the net present value of a Goucher degree 40 years out is almost up to $1 million. So we can certainly elaborate on that if you'd like to talk. And then finally, for applying, we are on the Common application. We've always been test optional for a long while. It's very straightforward. We can help with that. All of our scholarships are automatic, so that would be returned to you. And you can see we've had some very competitive financial aid packages we've returned to students. This is just last year's averages. So I think my time is up. I'll just leave it on this list of accolades here, and I can turn it over to the next presenter.
Thank you, Joe. And our last presenter for the evening is going to be Ursinus College.
All right, last but certainly not least, excited to be with all of you this evening. My name is Maggie Krause. I'm one of the Senior Assistant Directors of Admission here at Ursinus, and I'm super excited to chat with you today. So obviously I'm part of this presentation. Ursinus is one of the 44 colleges that change lives. I would strongly encourage any of you who haven't read the book to do so. Just flip through it. It's a really great resource for you, but I won't go into detail about that, but I'll talk a little bit more about who we are. Ursinus College is a small private liberal arts institution located in beautiful Collegeville, Pennsylvania. We are a primarily residential suburban community about 25 miles outside of Center City, Philadelphia. That being said, I'll talk a little bit about what that means to our campus community, but really it is kind of that best of both worlds where our students are in the suburbs, experiencing all that has to offer, as well as being close to one of the largest cities in the nation, and all those opportunities that provides. We are a larger campus for being such a small school. We sit on about 170 acres for our student population of about 1,500. That being said, we are in the business of an intimate and personalized education here at UC, with the average class size being between 15 to 20 students. Student to faculty ratio is about 10 to 1. So we're really concerned with providing you with that individualized experience. Should you come and visit us on campus, our students will talk consistently about their relationships with our faculty. They really integrate themselves into our students' lives here, both in and out of the classroom. So rest assured that if you join us here on campus, you are more than just an individual. You're a name, a face, a person, a member of our community, and that is something that we really stress during your time here on campus. We are a primarily residential community with about 94% of our students living on campus all 4 years. As many of my counterparts have mentioned, you are guaranteed housing all 4 years here at Sinus College. And we do have 37 residency options. Usually I have parents and students ask, well, does that mean you have a dorm for all students individually? No, that's not the case. You still will have a roommate or two. We do have 2 specific freshman resident halls that students can live in as early as, that they live in our first year. We do have suite and apartment style housing for our upperclassmen. And then we actually own 32 Victorian homes across the street from campus that are college owned and allow our students to feel a little bit more independent as they continue throughout their college career. Of those 32 houses, 12 are themed. So if students are interested in being part of an affinity group or living learning community, those themes change annually based upon student interest. And again, act as a physical extension of our campus and allow you to feel a little bit more independent. At Ursinus, our top 5 most popular majors: biology, applied economics, which is our business program, our health and exercise physiology program, psychology, and media and communication studies. One of the things that I love about Ursinus College is that we rarely tell our students no. And so we do our best to facilitate whatever it is you're looking to get out of your experience with us here on campus. And that goes right along with academic programming. It's not uncommon for students to come through our office and say that they're interested in going down that bio pre-med route, but also want to pursue dance. And we allow our students to combine those types of things together. So I like to say Ursinus is where the left brain and right brain kind of merge together. Of our student population, about a quarter of our students will double major at least. And about 85 to 90% of our students will have at least one minor. So again, a lot of flexibility for you to kind of make the most out of your college career here with us. That being said, all of our first year students do come in as undecided. We don't expect for you to have your entire life figured out. And we want to alleviate any pressure that you may feel to have everything kind of mapped out before you even start your college career. So you will come in as undecided. You don't apply into a specific program. And we will help you kind of navigate that search process of finding which pathway might be the best fit for you. That being said, if you know what you want to study before you come to college, you will actually have the opportunity to help craft your first semester schedule and take some classes in a couple of different areas that may be of interest to you. So you will have some control over that. So if you know that you're a diehard communications major and you want to take some of those classes at the beginning of your freshman year, you will have the flexibility to do so. One of the things that I can talk about also is financial aid. And it was kind of touched upon in the beginning video that opened up this program. College is expensive. It's an investment. Ultimately, it's an investment in yourself, but we don't want you coming out with a mortgage-sized loan. And I would be willing to bet that none of you want that either. And so we do have a strong commitment here at Ursinus to making an Ursinus education affordable. And so 99% of our students receive some sort of aid from the college. When you apply, you are automatically considered for a merit scholarship that ranges between $21,000 and $40,000 per year. Any student with a 3.85 unweighted GPA, a 1250 SAT, or a 28 ACT automatically get $35,000 per year. So that's a good benchmark that I like for my students to keep in the back of their heads. We also have 13 affinity-based scholarships that students can apply for that range between $5,000 and $40,000 per year. Those applications are not due until January of your senior year, but they allow our students to immerse themselves within a specific content area, as well as receive some additional financial funding. One of the most unique pieces of an Ursinus education, what you see at the bottom of your screen, is our Ursinus Quest and CIE. Everything that we do here on our campus is based around 4 big picture questions. Obviously, with being a liberal arts school, we're concerned with shaping and changing how you think about and perceive the world. Our first year seminar course is known as the Common Intellectual Experience. It's taught by 80% of our faculty, and every student has to take the class. That lays the foundation and the framework for the rest of your time here on campus. And it's where we present these 4 big picture questions. What should matter to me? How can we understand the world? How can we live together? And what will I do? And you're not expected to have answers to those questions, but they're meant to be more thought-provoking than anything. We want you to start thinking about your passions, your interests, who you are, everything that makes you you, and how that fits into the bigger picture. Those questions have been integrated into everything that we do on our campus. And we are the only college or university in the entire nation to be doing anything quite like that. So it is truly unique to the Ursinus experience. That being said, in terms of student life, obviously I mentioned that we are primarily residential. We do have over 100 clubs and organizations. And if you're interested in leaving your legacy at Ursinus, we strongly encourage for you to start your own club or organization on our campus. We are Division III, as I think all of my counterparts have mentioned as well. We are part of the Centennial Conference, which is one of the most competitive conferences at the Division III level. We compete against schools like Johns Hopkins, Swarthmore, Dickinson, Gettysburg, Haverford, Franklin, and Marshall. So it's pretty heavy hitting both athletically and academically. That being said, we do have 25 varsity sports teams with about 37% of our student body participating in athletics. That being said, it is not the only thing that we have here on campus. As I mentioned when I was talking about academics, our students have a lot of different interests, and that spills over really nicely into our campus life. So everybody has their hands in a lot of different areas across campus. And so even if you're not an athlete, rest assured that there's always something for you to do here on our campus and a community for you to plug into. That being said, our first and second year retention rate, students that complete their first year and return for more in their second year, is well above the national average at 87%. And almost 95% of our students are either employed or working within their desired field within 6 months of graduation. The last couple of pieces that make us unique, one thing I didn't mention with academics, I'll go back to that slide. We do cohort advising in the first year. So because all of our students do come in as undecided, we place students in handpicked groups of 8 to 10 students that all have some sort of commonality between them. Could be athletes, international students, females interested in STEM, students interested in the arts, something that's going to kind of bind you together, and you meet weekly as a group to navigate your transition to college. Additionally, our XLP at the bottom of the screen, I know I'm running out of time. Every student is required to do one of 6 experiences, either an internship, student teaching, significant research, creative project, civic engagement, or study abroad during their time on campus. And we also have an opportunity for students to spend an entire semester living in the city of Philadelphia, working full-time, as well as taking classes taught by our own faculty. So we are also open for individual visits and tours. So if anybody's interested in making the trip to Collegeville, we would certainly love to host you. And that is all. I will go ahead and cut myself off. Kelsey.
Thank you very much. And thank you everyone for joining us this evening. That was a quick 45 minutes full of some great information. So when you guys close out of this window, there'll be a link to a very quick 4-question survey where we'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. This was just one of multiple sessions that happened tonight, and there will be many more happening tomorrow as well. You will be able to find all of the sessions recordings at strivescan.com/CTCL. Thank you all to our panelists, and thank you for everyone for joining us this evening. Have a great night.